Alright then, hello people, welcome to Stockholm and Mania, another episode. This is Milo, of course, here in the studio next to me. Our friend is sitting over here, Alysia. How you doing, Alysia?
Hi there, how
You
are
right?
you?
I'm very fine, good to have you around, yeah?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep.
Just jumping in for Sam, who's not here this week.
Yeah, guess so, good to have you around, yeah. The thing is, we chose this sort of topic, I would say, kind of fundamental.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, going back to the root of the whole thing, I would say. The topic of this program would be what's the definition of metal music?
And who gets to decide?
What's the definition of the metal music? What is metal music and what is not? So, what do you think, Alysia?
It was my idea because a couple of days ago I watched an episode, I think it was the last episode that you guys did, and you talked about Scarlett, and you mentioned in this moment, and of course I went on YouTube, watched a few videos, and saw this big debate in the YouTube comment section about in this moment isn't metal, it doesn't count because it's a girl who's singing, who does the music and so on. So I was just kind of like, this is stupid, we need to talk about this. So that's what we're doing there today.
Yeah, basically, if you just go on internet and try to find some sort of definition of them all, you come across with some sort of, I would say, different definition. So basically, it's really up to people which one you pick and which sounds more reasonable. For example, I have a couple of definitions over there. This guy, Robert Valesa says, metal is a subgenre of rock music that includes a group of related styles that intense, powerful, driven by aggressive sound of the distorted electronic guitar and drums. So I think this is very academic and classic sort of.
Which is a good place to start.
Yeah, the definition of metal, and there's nothing saying about the vocalist. Is it it should be a girl or a boy? How you're supposed to dress up. So as long as you have these elements, your music is counted as a metal.
Yeah, and it's quite similar to my own personal definition, and I just want to point out it's my personal definition.
Yeah.
So
let's make it personal. What's your definition of metal?
I think, to me, metal is a subgenre of rock music which has this aggressive core, and the aggressive core can it can show in distorted guitars, in the sound, in the vocals, in the imagery. A friend of mine a couple of days ago mentioned that he thinks it has to do with the attitude. It's music that is vengeful towards mainstream, which is kind of it can mean anything. But I think if you have that aggressive core in something, it makes it a little bit metal. And it has to be heavy. Yeah. But then how do you define heavy?
Yeah. The thing is music, metal music is included to I would say it's some sort of art things. And regarding the art, in most of the cases I would say it really depends on the artist's definition. And really depends how you see, which perspective you watch things in that sort of thing. And let's just have a flash on what Ozzy Osbourne think about metal music.
Yeah, he should have a couple of things to say.
Yeah, basically, it's one of the quotes I really like about it. Yeah, Ozzy says, all this stuff's about heavy metal and hard rock. I don't subscribe to any of that. It's all just music. I mean, the heavy metal from 70s sounds nothing like the stuff from 80s, and that sounds nothing like the stuff from 90s. So who's to say what is and isn't a certain type of music? I really like it. I think it's very biased, basically, sort of definition on definition of metal. So basically, people are free to choose whatever they want to.
Yeah, and I think he points out a few things that are really important, and it is the change of metal. I do find that sometimes we have these formats this is what counts, this is true, this is what is metal, especially if you look at bands like the Norwegian guys like Mayhem and those boys. There's a very strict format to what counts, but as Ozzy says, it changes. It's not going to be the same. Like the stuff that we did in the 90s, it's not going to be the same today. Mainly because I think we get bored with the old stuff, and also because we get new techniques.
Or we would like to be rebel, I would say.
Of
Metal music is like, it to me means like, be rebellious and say like, okay, in terms of like, writing lyrics and like technical elements, we're gonna make something new. So we're not gonna following the classic or like rock elements. So we create metal music. So basically, it's about saying that the routines, we're not gonna follow that. We're gonna like not have something new. So metal music in some other, I would say like socialistic maybe perspective, you see the whole movement as a protest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a protest. I would say it's a protest against the mainstream, or vengeance against the mainstream. And I mean, if you look at like the who made the first metal music, it was like misfits who didn't really fit in. So of course it's gonna be like this core of being vengeful, and I'm gonna do my own thing. You don't get to tell me who I am or what we are going to sound like. And I think that's kind of what Ozzy is pointing out. And I think we should listen to him, because I would like to say that Black Sabbath is the origin of modern metal.
Yeah, like we remember like the church was so against them at the very first point, but they're not. Yeah, they don't dare to have those sort of comments anymore regarding like Black Sabbath and some new, I would say, the metal bands that we have in the recent era. Got a question.
Okay.
Why do you think that like metal music's movement, I would say, is still more male dominated? Why we don't have much girls around?
Ooh, putting me on
Are
the
you a
spot.
girl?
I'm very much a girl, ovaries and everything. No, I think it's because this is hard.
It's a tough one.
It's a really tough one. How do you point that out in just a few moments? Okay, so I think that there are lots of girls who are interested in metal. We know, because obviously if you go to a concert, there's gonna be girls there. So it has nothing to do with like, ladies are too soft for this stuff. However, when it comes to actually making music, we know that not as many girls are schooled in like music, because music and playing instruments, especially vocals, is another thing, but playing instruments is not really seen as a girl thing. So there are less women than men who get to start playing musical instruments when they're kids.
So it's general about music. It's not only about metal music, you think. Yeah?
And I think that since quite a lot of like metal fans and metal boys come from these like misfit groups, and if there's one thing we know about male-dominated misfit group is that they're not very well versed with communicating with the ladies. Sorry to say so.
Right.
But it also means that if they feel like we're the people that are like the misfits, girls are not interested in us, we need to rebel, and then suddenly there's girls who are like, we're interested in this.
Obviously,
and they're gonna be like, but you don't fit in our history and our framework, because you're not supposed to like us. So girls are not really welcome.
I see your point. The thing is like, do you see the relation between like, we see like, few girls attending the concerts or like, be involved in like making music with the definition of metal, saying like metal is like kind of an aggressive subgenre of rock music.
I think it's more to do with the fact that girls who get
it's a kind of like a cliche feature that we implement to the females and males.
I would say it's definitely a cliche, and what it means practically for girls who want to produce or make metal music is that they're not welcome. They get a fuckload of backlash, especially on the internet, as we saw with the In This Moment music video I told you about earlier. So there's all these boys mostly who like keep attacking girls who are interested, who want to produce, and you get all these like, you're not welcome, you're just a Barbie, it's not real metal, you're not cool enough, we don't like you. And after a couple of years of having that kind of backlash, you don't want to do it anymore.
How about the industry? Like, these companies like go and like invest on the bands. I was just reading an article the other day saying like Catwoman, the film, cannot get into industry because the main character, the hero, is a female. Yeah. So and then like in terms of industry, like if you want to like compare like a Catwoman to the other like a superhero kind of like movies of it or films, there are like a few investors would happy to invest on Catwoman. Is it, you think, true with like a metal music?
I think that a lot of investors are cowards who don't dare to. I mean, okay, now we're wandering over to like film and stuff, but we do see that when investors do dare to invest in female-dominated culture, whether it be Wonder Woman or whatever, it makes money. It does make money.
Yeah.
But I think it's all these like, no, we've never done it before, it hasn't been tried out, we don't have the statistical data,
Yeah.
I've never invested in anything like that before, and that makes investors scared.
Yeah, so basically they're trying to, they look for something safe so they can be sure the money would come back to them.
Yeah, of course, because that's what investors do. They want their money back.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you just, like, be focused on some of the, like, like a decent metal band with like a female vocalist, of course they're loyal to, like, elements and the feature of metal music, but they're producing something new on the other side because it's a female basically vocalist kind of thing. Like, now I do remember on the earliest, like, I was like a teenager and I was listening to Nightwish.
Oh, that was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. When Terrio was like the vocalist, that was one of like the earliest experiences for me listening to like a symphonic metal when there is like a female vocalist, and I really like it. I can't like compare the experience to other experiences I had with other type of music. So it's good to have girls around. So this is the other question. Like, I mostly asked to like so many other people. I would like to know about your point of view about it. How do you see the future? Like, based on the definition that like you may have, I may have, like people have, how you see like the metal movement is going on in like 10 years time, 15 years
In regards to women, or
like generally speaking?
I mean, I think we're still going to have those bands that still want to fall within the strict metal format. I mean, I was really disappointed with Abbath's new album that he released earlier this year, because it falls so much within the basic format of like Norwegian metal. It's boring. It turns into like elevator music. It's all been done before, and I think that
it's true somehow. Sorry for interrupt. With the Korn new album, like I was watching like the how to say it, the reviews. Most of the people hate it. Say like it's a very like a huge disappointment of like these people.
And I think that is because people expected something new, something like, because he's supposed to be a funny guy. He does all this crazy stuff with the makeup and being silly on stage and all, and then he releases an album that is like, meh, we've heard it before. Where's the fun stuff? Yeah. And I do think there is that hunger for like the funny stuff. I see that a lot of bands who make more like comedy metal, like Trollfest and the Deep Throat Trauma, that they are becoming more popular because people no longer have the same like we're the.
So the future belongs to funny metal.
I think
it's a new genre.
This is just me guessing, but I think that people want more funny stuff. We've been serious and brooding and dark and difficult for like so long that people are just kind of like, can't we just have a little bit of fun? Just a little bit of fun. Let's put on a funny hat and drink a few beers and listen to the music that we like. Like, but that's just me guessing. Right. Just me guessing.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I think, I already answered this question like in other previous program, but I think there's gonna be more people like accepting like a new genre of metal, and then they're gonna be like much people like discovering, listening, and enjoying metal music, all genre, melodic metal, death metal, black metal, symphonic black metal. Not even in Europe, it's gonna be global, I would say. So we're gonna have like a more African, I would say, black metal kind of thing, or like we're gonna have more like, I don't know, do you know this band Who, for example? They're Mongolian. The term Mongolia, the country, comes like in most of the people's mind. Comes with food, I would say, like, I don't know, like manual workers or stuff. But like at the moment, Mongolia for me means the band Who. So as I said, the movement is gonna be global. Regarding the definition, regarding like regardless like how you see like the metal music, how you define it, but there are gonna be more people showing interest in metal music and stuff. So I think the future belongs to us. I'm very optimistic in that term.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, I think maybe. I do really enjoy when you have those fusions, when you take like classical or like music and mix it with the metal genre. We also have bands like Alien Weaponry from I think it's New Zealand who sing in Maori,
Yeah.
like the native tongue. And a lot about their music is about preserving their native language. And we do see that there are these like metal fusions that can be a little bit hard to find, but there's more and more bands doing that.
Yeah. All right then. I think that's for today. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, Alysia, for joining us in the studio. Our dear fellows, you can always put comments, share your opinion, let us know what you think about the definition of metal. Please share the video and spread the word about the video and the project that we making. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you.